Welcome to Back of Box Recipes. I'm Barak, and today we're making the
Prost Sweetened Condensed Coconut Milk Key Lime Pie.
The ingredients in this are
a half of a cup of lime juice, a pre-made graham cracker crust, 1 can of Prost Sweetened Condensed Coconut Milk, 5 tablespoons of butter, 3 teaspoons of cornstarch, 4 eggs, and then vanilla if you want and lime zest. And then you need whipped topping of some sort.
This is a pretty straightforward recipe. It should only take about 30 minutes to prepare and then have 5 hours to chill. You can either start with half a cup of lime juice or you can juice your own limes like we did.
Start with 1 can of sweetened condensed coconut milk. Then you're going to take your half a cup of lime juice and put it straight in the pot. You're going to need a whisk of some sort. We're using a fork instead. It works just fine. And then you're gonna need to crack 4 eggs and then whisk them in a bowl. So we're gonna put this aside. Okay, next we're gonna add our eggs and our cornstarch before we put it on the stove. So you're just gonna dump your whisked 4 eggs into the pot. And then you're gonna start mixing that. And then we're gonna do something special with our cornstarch so that you don't get clumps. You're gonna take a couple tablespoons of water and pour it in with your cornstarch. We're gonna make what's called a slurry. You're gonna mix it with a spoon until it's combined. Now you're gonna take your cornstarch and you're gonna add it to the pot. It won't be clumpy since we made a slurry with the water. Okay, next we're gonna turn it on low heat. Make sure it's on low or else it's gonna burn pretty quick.
And then another tip is that you wanna constantly mix this. Otherwise, it's gonna turn into scrambled eggs.
We're gonna add our butter next.
Pour it right into the mix.
And then keep mixing. And then once the butter is combined, we're gonna add lime zest and we're gonna add vanilla.
Now this might take a while. It's actually gonna take probably around 6 to 8 minutes. You wanna keep whisking continuously until the first bubble appears on the surface and the mixture is thick enough to hold marks from the whisk.
In the meantime, we'll go ahead and add our vanilla. I would just eyeball this, just a splash.
Now I'm gonna stop mixing for a sec so we can add the lime zest.
Add the zest of about 1 lime, maybe a half. Don't add any more than that or it's gonna be too bitter. And try and get it as fine as possible. This is just gonna add a little bit more tang to the lime flavor. And then we can start mixing again. So after it's been going for about 6 to 8 minutes, it's gonna start to thicken to the point where it could cover a fork or a spatula or whatever you're using. It should start to make big bubbles like that. Be careful because it's gonna start to splatter. Once it gets to that point of being pretty thick, you can turn the heat off. And then you're just gonna leave it for a few minutes and let it cool a little bit before we put it in our graham cracker crust. Okay, at this point, once it's cooled down just a little bit, we can put a little pinch of salt in there. It's gonna help the lime come out a little bit. Just a pinch, not a lot. And then you're gonna mix that in. You shouldn't need to set for too long since it's hot. It should dissolve a little bit quicker. And then we're gonna take our graham cracker crust. It's easiest if you do this with a spatula or some kind of large spoon. You're gonna take your spoon and then just pour everything in there and try and smooth it out the best that you can.
So now you're gonna take your spoon and you're gonna start smoothing out the lime curd. Just make the top all nice and even.
Okay, now we're gonna put it in the fridge for about 5 hours. Ideally, it probably needs to be in there overnight. Okay, the last thing to do is to put the whipped topping on the top. We're gonna put it on like that, and then just spread it around. If you use something like Cool Whip, when you get it from the store, it comes in the freezer, so make sure you let it thaw at least a little bit. And then at some point in the meantime, when your pie is chilling, you're gonna wanna cut up some half limes to make it look nice. Okay, the last thing to do is to put your little limes on top. So we're gonna just layer some of these little lime slices. That is our finished key lime pie.
All right, so now we've cut a piece of the pie and we're gonna try it. That's pretty good.
I'd say that one's a thumbs up.
It's very, very limey, it feels like.
Yeah.
I like it. And the lime on top definitely adds some decoration, makes it look all pretty. I think this is a good one.
That was a good one.
This is definitely a thumbs up. Let us know if you guys have any more specific requests. We'll be looking at all the comments on this video. And who knows, maybe your recipe could be featured in the next video. We'll see you guys next time.